Morning, guys. Hello, everybody. Hello, degenerates. Good morning. Sparky Andy, Aidan Her, Steve, Mate, Mark, Matt, Dave, Mark. How you doing? Not feeling too good this morning, guys. If I'm being honest with you, feel like death warmed up. Did a COVID test last night. Negative, one of them lateral flow ones, but I feel terrible, to be fair. Didn't sleep very well last night because of it, because I had such a bad throat, but we're here, we're still alive. How's everybody doing this morning? I hope you've all had a good week, by the way. A better week than me. As you can see, back down. It's like a game of snakes and ladders trading, as I think, isn't it? You can get to 98 just before you think you've completed the proper ledge sort of status at 100, and then you slip back down to 19 or 18 on a snake, and you've got to start all over again. It is what it is, though, guys. Yeah, the IB is super tight. Super tight. Let me just draw it in and see where we are. Very tight one this morning. Relatively as well, because obviously they've all been very big, haven't they? So on a relative basis, this is a very tight one. I think the average sort of IB at the moment is 100 ticks, or slightly over. So this is a really tight one this morning. We'll have to see what sets up. Getting chopped up and we're only on 47 minutes in. What are you doing, Swifty? -2R this week for me. Same as Aidan, it happens, doesn't it? I think that's acceptable, though. I wouldn't beat yourself up about that, especially if you've executed properly what your strategy is. It's one of them. That's par for the course, that. Good morning, Danny. But guys, I'm sorry as well if there's been quite a people. I'm not saying I'm like my DMs are full like with thousands of messages, but I've had quite a few messages over the last couple of days. I haven't been feeling very well, and then with me doing my arse on my strategy. I just haven't. It's just been one of them. Like, I feel like death warmed up, and I've not been doing very well. But I will get back to you. I will. So I'm not being ignorant or anything. Just wanted to point that out. I went football last night again, and didn't get back in till late. So in night times on a Tuesday and a Thursday, I'm always at football. So that's why I don't tend to get back to people. If you think I'm sort of like there's radio silence, it's because of that reason. And by the time I come in, by the time we've had tea and got my lad ready for bed, I'm knackered. It's time to jump in bed and have a night's kip. So sorry about that. Yeah, I do, J. Derek. First hour of the London Open, correct? Right. So it's the hour before the London Open. So it's the Frankfurt Open at 7, and then it's the London Open, the Cash Open at 8. Don't know if that makes sense to you. So on the UK time, it will be 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. That's what I base mine on. Morning, Ian. Looking through my results last night as well, I've had a deep dive when I got in last night and this morning as well. And I'm going to be completely honest with you, right? I think something about my trading's changed since I have come on this challenge. And I'm not trying to make excuses or anything like that, because that is not what it is. Like, it's not. I have made these trades. But there's been certain trades where I should have been in the market and I haven't been. I don't know what's happened. And I have my strategy, in a plan. I have it all lined up. But even if I how can I put it? If I don't look at it constantly and constantly like remind myself what I should be doing, I often sort of like veer off. It's very easy to like veer off and start producing like different inputs and outputs of it with your own biases, what are going on currently in the market. I had a good look through it last night because the guy Ian, who I sort of trade with, he knows like more or less like 99% of my strategy. He does. He pointed out an entry to me yesterday. I thought it could have been an entry myself at the time, but I don't know why I didn't take it. He pointed out this could be an entry, and I said to him last night when I saw the message, I thought that made me feel really uneasy, that did, because I thought that it could have been, but I've put this other bias, this other context, this other sort of input to my strategy, which kept me out of it. Now, looking back through all my results and last night, I'm thinking to myself, some things just not right. So what is it? Just go through it and be honest with yourself. And yesterday, that was an entry. It was an entry on my strategy. It would have got me in the market. I wouldn't have made loads of money, but at the end of the day, at the close, I would have made, like maybe just under 1R. I should have been in the market and I wasn't. Now, when I go back to my strategy and look at it in black and white and look through the plan, I'm going to have to start doing this every day. I think you come on here, you get that in the emotions of like doing a YouTube or, and you start to forget the bigger picture, which is, like your bread and butter, which is your strategy. And for some reason, I don't know what it is, for some reason, I have sort of altered the course of my ship, and I'm going this way and I should be going that way. So it doesn't excuse any of the losses this week, right? It doesn't. Let's just get that straight. I aren't trying to say that it would have done, because the actual losses this week, I have executed them properly. There was just one trade yesterday where I should have been in the market and I wasn't, and it set up and I wasn't. Okay, so I'm not trying to like shift the blame and say, oh, that's why I've lost this money this week. It's not, right? The losers, they were part of it, 100%. I am not, trying to sort of squirm my way out of losing money. They were part of it, but it was just one trade yesterday, and I think it happened the week before as well, where I should have been in the market. Don't think it would have been a big winner though at the end of the day. I think I would have been stopped out for break even, because it went back on me when we were plus 2R last week. But yesterday's was a winner. I wasn't in it. So that's something to look at for me. I need to obviously do that every day now. It's what's happening, and I think this is what's happening is I'm sort of trying to protect my downside, and through the week, you think you know your strategy inside out, don't you? You really do. Like if somebody said to me, well, what's your strategy? Explain it now. I could explain it to them, definitely. But during the week, your emotional side of you is so sort of up and down, and you sort of lose track of what you, even though you know what you should be doing. And it's dead simple. It's not like I've got to set up an algorithm for launch a rocket. It's dead simple. But I don't know why. It's just human emotion again. And I think obviously that's what's gone wrong. But it didn't, I would have still lost that money this week, right guys? Just want to be completely honest with you. So, something that I need to be aware of. I am aware of it, right? So that's a good thing. You're aware of it. There's been people who've contacted me this week, right, who've said that they've had a really bad week trading. They're standing aside because they've been executing poorly. That's fantastic. That is what I'm here to do on YouTube. Like if more people can see that and what I'm saying about yesterday, we went into, if it's not you that's the problem and your strategy is going for a losing streak, stick to it. If it's you that's the problem, a few people DM me last night saying, I've had a day off, I haven't done very well this week, I've done this, I've done that, I've taken myself out. Guys, that is the right thing to do. You are doing the right thing, honestly. If you're not feeling it and you think that you're the one that's causing the issues in your trading, stand aside and come back Monday. You'll be way better for it, trust me. Even if you don't push the buttons today, you don't make any trades, just come back Monday. I guarantee that you'll be way, way better for it, just giving your brain a 3 or 4 day break from the markets. Let's just have a look, see if there's anything setting up on the DAX for me. I don't think there is yet though, we'll just have a look. Let's just see. No. No, not yet. No. Wouldn't surprise me though if we just got like a horrible chop day today, even though there's a tight balance. I don't know. We'll have to just see what happens. The curse of live trading. I think so, Mark. I think so, yeah. Still a ledge, get well soon. I appreciate that, Liam. Thank you. It's tough, isn't it, guys? I'm not going to deny to you though, but I would have still taken these losses, right? Don't let that try and alter what would have happened. I would have just one trade yesterday. I don't know why. That was my edge. It was my edge. I should have been in the market. Now, you could argue. There's loads of reasons why I wasn't, but I honestly do think it's because I've sort of set some weird type of context up in my head where I don't know. It's a strange one anyway. I can't really explain it, but it is what it is, and I need to sort it out because that was a potential winning day for me yesterday. And let me just show you the entry so that you can see what the entry was. And only by looking back through your plan and through your prior results can you work out, and this is what I'm saying, like, I have got that, and that's such a good thing to have with your trading. Because when you veer off course like this, you've got the stuff that you need to put you back on track. Now, it can help you out massively. And also, I will say this, right, about your backtesting and stuff. It's so once you've set it up, and I know it's a lot of hard work to do it, but once you've set it up, you can just go and jump on any month and work out exactly like it's just, like, you can work out what you were seeing, what you were thinking, and when you've got the sort of data to say, like, this is why you can't have any sort of discretionary context to any backtesting results. It's dead important, this is. If you've got any discretion in your backtesting, I guarantee that you will cherry pick the results, which is why I don't do that. You have to have, it can't be like, oh, well, this didn't look quite right at the time, so I actually thought I would have probably skipped this one. You can't do that. Your backtesting has to be like black and white. There should be no grey areas with it at all, and because you will always cherry pick, which will mean that you will way over exaggerate your profits and way underestimate your downside on any given month or week. It's just what humans do. So you have to be correct with your backtesting. But I've done that, and I jumped on January, I jumped on November, just random months last night and this morning. Just jumped on them quickly and went through them to eyeball the results so that they lined up with my entries and exits along with my trading plan, and it sort of just gets your head back right again. Like, you can see the losses, you can see the wins, and just by going through them and seeing what was going on, it puts you in the right frame of mindset again. So I feel like I'm back on track again this morning. But this should have been an entry here for me, this one. Let me just show you. That should have been my entry there. That should have been my risk box. This here should have been my entry at 14.55. Now, I was out yesterday. I had to go and do a few errands, but that should have still been an entry for me. I had an alert set in here for if this high got taken out. It got taken out by this candle. The alert come in, and I just thought to myself, it's not part of my edge. It was part of my edge. So, I didn't make loads of money from it or anything like that. I would have got out of the market here in this area. So it would have been a very small sort of winner. But over time, these small sorts of like 0.2s, 0.4s, they add up. It's one of them. So same as say, I know for a fact I've been trading slightly skewed of what I should be doing. So it's time to sort it out and get back on track, and I will be doing from next week. I know I've said it a few times now, but it's just all so new to me. It really is. I'm not going to deny it. I'm enjoying it though, guys. I really am. It's lovely to speak to people and have a decent community going. And also, right, I'm just glad that other people are seeing this, because if you're struggling, when you're not making thousands of pounds and you're not driving in a Lamborghini like everybody else seems to be on Instagram, then maybe this is good for everybody to see me struggling. Maybe this is my calling in life, to just be sat on YouTube struggling to trade, so that other people feel like they're not the only ones out there that are just, doing their arse. And if that's what my calling is, guys, I will take it. All right. Let's have a look who's in the morning. Morning, Egyptian trader. Yeah, it's going to be a tough one, isn't it, with an FP today? I've found with NFP days, it's either they either go really early on and sort of make a move because somebody knows something, and then you don't really get an entry. You're either in it and you're in it all day, or highly likely you just chop and you get the big reversals when the data's released and up down, and that's about it really, isn't it? So I would imagine if you've had a winning, if you're up this week, for me, I just wouldn't really bother with it. I don't think I'd be sat on the sidelines with a big grin on my face, having a beer this afternoon. I wouldn't even tempt fate of trying to get into it, especially if you trade a sort of mechanical strategy where this thing could throw you into a position and spit you out very quickly. One guy I know was in Jim Dalton's live session. Even he admitted that he can't always stick to his strategy when live. Yeah, I agree with you, Mark. I totally, that's what I'm feeling. And there's no excuses there, right? I'm not trying to excuse myself, because this week I still would have lost that money. But it's just a weird added pressure in your head to deal with. Yeah, Dave, I think with a prop firm though, I think one thing I know that prop firms do is they have a TV on the front of the room, and they have everybody's live winnings and wins and losses on there. So who's in a loss, who's in a win, so the whole room can see. I think that could be interesting. But you're all part of the same team down there, aren't you? You're all batting for the same team, really. Change name from trading live with 3k account to 3k to 100k. Watch the uptick on viewers. Yeah, maybe. Live day trader makes 1,000,000% or something like that. Yeah, I agree with you, Ian. That would absolutely fly, probably. It's a tough one today, though, guys, isn't it? NFP. Maybe that's what we should all have, guys. Maybe we should all have all of our profits live on each other's screens. That'd be good, wouldn't it? You know, like if a spread bet firm or a trading firm did that, I think that'd be a right good goer. So let's say you could get into a community, right? Well, let's say you've got a signal room. This is the type of honesty that I think should happen, though, right? Let me talk you through it. I think it would be an absolute worldie if somebody could do it too, and I think people are missing a trick by not doing it. If you've got your own community, or you've got your own trading room, or you've got your own education room, I think that you should all be linked up to each other. So your mentor, your education provider who's charging you the service for whatever he's saying, I think that you should be all plugged in together, and you should, like a prop firm, you should all see each other's profit and losses. So when all these idiots are coming on here saying that the whole family eats today, we've all made money in my room, well, have we? Let's have a look. And then this is how I'd like to see it, right? The people who are struggling, you can pull them up, you can help them. Like if you've got a room of 30 people and you're all happy for each other to see each other's P&L, and you're all in the live room together, you will, it would be such an amazing thing to do, because you can pull people up. The people who are losing, they can clearly see the people who are winning, and I don't think there should be a problem with that. I was speaking to a prop trader last night on DM, and he was saying to me that in Chicago, in his old firm, he and all of his lads would all get long and short together on breakouts, and it would be like an amazing feeling. Like the room would go up when the breakout happened, and the whole room would be like, it'd be like scoring a goal in the last minute of an FA Cup final, wouldn't it? I think that's what I want to try and do eventually. I mean, I don't want to try and do it myself so I can make any money from it, but I think that's something that the industry is missing. Everybody's on social media together now. Everybody can, touch base very quickly and make these communities, but nobody wants to share the wins and losses. But I think it would add something. I don't think it would take something away. I think that if you're in a little community of 25, 30 traders and you all know each other, there's no dickheads in there or anything like that. Why not have your P&L on screen so you can all see each other? Why not work together as a team? Why not? If you can see somebody that's hot, who's doing well, and every week or month, like in your room, he's making money. Like, why would you not all jump on it together with him? It won't mean that his edge will stop working. It doesn't work like that. I'd be very surprised if it did. It just means that you can all grow together. You can all earn money together. You share the wins and losses together. That's like being in a proper team. That's good. That will produce way better results than everybody trying to like hide away from each other the wins and the losses. I just think it's a great idea, and I think the person who does that will do very well. I personally think Tom should do that, something like that. I do. I would love that. I would love to do something like that with him. Not to rip anybody off or to make any money from it, but if you can get that and you can all be honest with each other, and it's be like an online prop room, really, but live accounts. Live accounts are there. Because I can guarantee, right, if you're a losing trader, you won't, like let's say you're a losing trader and you keep on betting too much when you're wrong. I can guarantee if you're in the live room with Tom and he's there and we're all there and everybody in this community is there, I can guarantee you won't be doing that because you'll look like an idiot. We can see your account balance going down. We're like, what are you doing? Like, we can see it live. So there's a table of like everybody's accounts there, and if someone starts doing the rush, you can say to them like, mate, what the fuck are you doing? Or if somebody gets like, we all know each other's strategies, right? If somebody messes, like for me, right, the other Friday, if I start messing with that trade and get out of it too quickly, you're all on at me like, this isn't part of your strategy, what are you doing? Because you're all part of the same team. So rather than it being about the individual making money on his own and the rest of everybody else like not doing very well, we should have a team account, not where everybody's money is combined, but where the percentage that we've made at the end of every week that's what we're after, lifting everybody up, not just ourselves. We're going to stop the people from doing their arse and lift everybody up to be at the same level as what the top person is in the room. I don't know how you could do it in a Discord group though. I don't know how you could do it. I think that's the problem. You need to see live account balances. And I don't know how you could do that. You could maybe do it off a Zoom call or something where everybody's live on a Zoom and you could see people's live accounts. Like, that's what it would need to be. You would need to be honest and like, this is my live account. There's 25 grand in there. I need to have it at all times on the screen. And if you're not willing to do that, then you're not going to be in the room. You've got to have your account balance. Everybody has. I just think it would be a win. It would be amazing. I would love that. I would love to be a part of a group like that. Everybody's sharing their own wins and losses, honestly. And I think it would add so much to people's trading. And don't be afraid like, oh, everybody would know my edge. Guys, that will add to your edge, okay? Because somebody might see something with your edge that the hive mind of like-minded people is always way more intelligent than the single-minded person. So it's something that I've had to think about, and I don't know how we could do it, right? And I don't want it to sound chilly or anything like that, because it's not like that. But if we can get into a room of some way or something and have it like an online prop firm, but you're trading your own money, right? And you're sharing your wins and your losses together, live, like I'm doing, I am so sure that we could all make we'd do way better. Because on them down days, when you mess up, we'd all be risk managers to each other, wouldn't we? You can see me doing my arse, right? I can see you doing your arse. I'm going to call you out on that. I'm going to stop you from doing it. Why? Because I know what your strategy is and you're not doing the right thing, right? So close down for the day and see you tomorrow. How many people would need something like that? How many, I've done it myself in the past where you just keep having another go, and every time you're doing yourself more and more damage, right? But you wouldn't be able to do that because you're going to look an idiot in front of everybody. Everybody will be able to see that you're not in control of your trading, and it's the best thing that you can do is be open about it at that point, because it's the only way that you can get back on track. For me, I think that's what's got to be done. I don't know. some people just end up copying other people's trades and have their own edge. Mikos makes a good point from it, right? But that's something that everybody would have to go in and be aware of. I don't think that would happen a lot of the time. I just think it would be more like somebody giving you a proper. We'd all be our own sort of risk managers, wouldn't we? I don't know. It's just an idea that I had anyway. An online prop firm, and I actually do think. I know, but I don't think these traders are young, Mikos, in this community. I think a lot of them are old, and I think a lot of them, if anything, and it would be one of them, wouldn't it? You wouldn't have to do it. You could walk away at any point, couldn't you? It's not like, oh, you've got to do it for the rest of your life. It could just be something that we could have a go at. Maybe. I think it could be. It would benefit me. You know, like, because people are calling trades out this week. They are. I've had loads of people DM me their trade ideas, stuff like that, and they look really good. No, I'm not saying I would have jumped on any of Sierra's trades or would have tried to pinch his edge or do anything like that. But just by being honest with your account balances, right, it's got to be the way forward. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to trade live in front of everybody or anything like that. No. But just by being honest about your account balances and sharing the wins and losses, like I'm doing, not live on YouTube in front of loads of people that you don't know, but just with a group, with a team. Why do prop firms succeed? Like why are prop firms sort of, why do they make money? Well, yes, they can obviously trade, right? All of the guys in there can trade, but the team, the overall camaraderie that they get, you know, I'm sure that adds to something. I think there was a survey done. And it's about the crowd. How the crowd is normally always right compared to the individual. The wisdom of 1,000 people, the curve of the answers that you'd get back would always be right. Now, I'm not saying everybody's going to be trying to tell everybody what to do, but just by sharing your wins and losses and having an online prop firm where you can see each other's balances, I think it would be a really good shout. Just my opinion anyway, right? But I don't know how it would work. You would need some sort of software so that you could see it. As a prop shop, you need diversification. If you're all doing the same trade, you just find the guy that does it the best, give him more limit. Exactly, Mikos, right? But that's not what I mean by this. I don't. Obviously, there's going to be times in the week where people spot a really good-looking trade, and it's like, right, I'd probably be tempted to take that. But not just copying each other's trades. I don't mean that. I don't mean that everybody's going to copy each other's trades. I just mean that by seeing other traders in and I'm not talking about a massive thing. I'm just talking about maybe 20 people who would be willing to share their account balances live. Maybe not go into the depths of their entries or exits, but just having something online like an online prop firm. And it might be the case that you've just got everybody in the room to act as your risk manager. But I think that would work. I think that's what people struggle with the most. Most people can spot a good-looking trade. Most people can. I don't think that it's the case that like you're going to be learning to trade off the other traders in there. Like most of you guys in this room here, from what I've seen, from the tweets that you're sending me, can trade. Most of you. You know, like you're spotting all the right, from what I would consider to be okay. I think where people fall short is it's the risk management side, and what do they do when they're sort of in a downward spiral. Now, I think that could help. I really do. That's the bookmark, right? I've read that book. It's a great book, and the overall feeling of it's very interesting. Very interesting. Prop rooms are great for sharing ideas, talking ideas out, finding out when you're wrong, playing cards and trash talk. Exactly right. That's good though. I mean, you bang on. I agree. That's the good side of it. But I wouldn't want it to be something where like I wouldn't want it to be something where it's not, where everybody's not being honest with each other and stuff like that. So I don't know if people would be dead happy with it. I don't know. We'll have to have a look at it. everybody's going to have to be very honest with each other, and that's something that you don't find in trading a lot of the time, isn't it? I don't know if people would go for it, to be honest with you. The bulk of people just want to sort of like live in fairyland and think like, oh, you know, I'm going to be this millionaire. But when you've got to really share your account, when you've got to really like, you know, show your P&L, it might put a lot of people off. I don't know. But I wouldn't want it to be like a pressurized situation where, you know, like you're feeling like you're trading live and it's going to upset all of your psychology. I think being on YouTube like this, it's a bit different. But I'm just talking about if you can find like 20 people who are all like-minded people, who trade at the similar hours, you know, so the Discord's not going off all night and it's in America and all over the place, and just the people that are in the European session like this. I think if they were in an online room prop firm where it was all honest, you shared your balances, your accounts, I think it could be an absolute winner for everybody in there. I think Discords, for me though, I think that people can pretend, can't they? For me, there can't be any pretending in there. There can't be. It's got to be honest. You've got to be willing to share your account balance every day and have it on screen. If not, then what's the point? From a psychological aspect, it can ruin some traders. Seen it happen a fair bit. Would them traders have been ruined anyway, Mikos? You know, is that the undoing of them? Were they ever really going to be a trader if that undoes them? I would suggest they probably weren't. They just cut it short, really. You just got to the finding out that they couldn't trade quicker by doing that, I would suggest. If you can't deal with psychological issues about sharing your account balances, guys, I think you're probably not going to ever be a proper trader. I really do. Like, that's just my opinion. It might be harsh, that, but it is. Like, if you can't deal with seeing other people seeing your P&L, like, what fucking chance have you got? Like, seriously? It's like, you're fearful of losing, aren't you? Well, if you're fearful of losing, you're gonna be fearful of trading eventually, because you will end up losing. So I would just say that will get you from point B, thinking you're a ledge trader, to point A, knowing you're not, a lot quicker than what you thought. So that might do you a favour. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's just my opinion. Like, I love the thought of being in a prop firm in London. Love it. And I also think that it would be of massive benefit to me. But it would have to be honest, and it would have to be, your account has to be shown live every day, like mine is now, right? I just see, like, if we all had a Zoom, and you wouldn't all have to speak on there, right? You don't have to speak or anything like that. But if we all had some type of Zoom, you have to show your account balance live. You have to have it up. If not, no bueno. At the end of the day, you have an hour's meeting or a discussion where you're talking about what you've done wrong, what you've done right. The whole group is talking about it, you know, like, go over what you've done wrong. If anybody's account starts going down, you know, you can see that live. You can call them out and say, like, what's going on? Have you just taken a loser? I don't know. Just think it would help. Yeah, exactly, Nick. I'm not saying it's something that I could possibly set up myself. I think it could be something that a broker could do. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if a broker did that and they could, like, sort of, let's say they had everybody's accounts and you could add it onto Twitter, like, that would be amazing. And you could create your own room on Twitter with everybody in it, but you could see everybody's account balances live. But I think the value as well is obviously having some sort of video input and output with it, where you can actually talk to people, and you can talk as a group and talk about, like, what, you know, at 12 o'clock you have a 15-20 minute debrief, like, how's the morning session gone for everybody, who's down, who's up, what did you do right, what did you do wrong, what were you seeing, the people who were right, what did you do, what was the trade that you're on, what was the setup, how did you approach that setup, what got you in, what got you out, you know, the people who've lost, what, you know, why have you lost? Is your account down because you've messed up? Is it down because you just lost a trade and that's your edge? Just having those people that you can speak to, I think it would just be a massive benefit, but it would all have to be honest. And I think that's the problem. not being in a room, but being in a room is fantastic. I don't know, because I don't know if I'm onto something. Maybe I am. I don't know. I think for me it would have been a massive help. It would have. I would have loved that. Like if Northman's group was live and everybody else's accounts are live in the group when I was in it, and I could see what he was doing and how he was up and how he was approaching what he was trying to teach me or what he was trying to say and how he executed of what he was saying, and everybody else in the group who I could see what they were doing. I would have loved that. That would have been amazing. I just don't know why people don't do it. That I'm not saying like, I'm going to set something up myself. I'm not, but I would love it if somebody did, and I would love to be a part of it. I would be. I'd be balls deep. That'd be amazing. And you'd be surprised. I don't think you'd just want to try and copy other people's edges. I don't. I just think when you can see like 20 people in a room and 6 people are at it every day, like their edge, they're on it. Even to just see them in action, you might not even want to copy their edge, right? Because you might not even be able to do it. Just to see them at it in action, it makes you feel like it pushes you further. It makes you better. You want that. You want what they're doing. And the people who are losing they'd be looking at them thinking, fucking hell, I need to up my game. These guys are smashing it. But you never see that on Twitter. You don't see that side of it. You don't see that live side. You don't see people's wins and losses and their accounts going up or down. You just see what people are telling you. I think it's the way forward. More honesty, live, watching other people actually walk the walk that they say that they can walk, watching the people lose and helping them people up as fast as you can so that everybody's on the same page. Everybody might not be trading the same strategy, but everybody's on the same page. And creating a team of people who want to win every day. Like, how good would that be? You could have team days out, team nights out. I'm sure you get quite a close relationship with these people. And you might get the odd two people who don't want to do, like they might just not be able to be part of the team. Like it might just be too much for them psychologically. Like Mikos says that the young traders in his firm, that can happen, right? More people can be added, more people can come in, people who are hungry for it, people who want to have a go at it, who think that they can handle it. But I would suggest that this is where you need to be. Similar setup with gaming, exactly, Dave. That is awesome, right? I imagine that there is on Twitch and stuff where they're all gaming together and they're all hunting together in packs. You know what, Dave? That's like the perfect fit. That's exactly what I mean. So what on gaming on Twitch or whatever, if you've seen like where they're playing Call of Duty or whatever, they've got packs of like 10 or 11 people. I think they all like wear virtual reality goggles. They've all got a microphone in their ear so they can the group can talk to each other, and they hunt in packs. Now they might have a sniper, they might have somebody who's shooting a shotgun, they might have somebody who's shooting a cannon, they might have somebody who's shooting a rocket grenade launcher. All different strategies in that gameplay. You're all trying to do the same thing, kill other people, take their money off them, right? But just because one guy's really good at sniping doesn't mean that everybody in the room's going to be a sniper and be good at using that particular weapon. But by having that person in your team who you can see is doing really well, you can guarantee that if you're firing the rocket grenade, you're going to try and be as good. You're going to be as good as him. It doesn't mean you're going to get your sniper rifle out as well and try and match him, but it just all adds to the greater good and feeling like you can see people in your team who would. I just look at it like football as well. For me, play football. Wasn't a professional, but played at a decent level. If there was good players in my team, right, I would love it. It'd be amazing. Yes, it would. Why? Because it would make me feel like I needed to up my game. I couldn't have a shit game if like 3 or 4 of our players were having a good game themselves. I would hate it. It'd drive me mad. But that's the thing with trading. It's so individual, isn't it? It's so like everybody sat in their own room, sort of hiding the wins and losses, and sort of. I don't know if it should be turned on its head. I think it should be the other way round. It's gone very like gaming, hasn't it, trading, in a lot of ways. It used to be, in the pits and stuff like that, but now it is like, you could argue that it is like a game. Really. I think like maybe what people haven't seen into the future is it could be like gaming, in a way, where you're in these teams online together, all helping each other. I have stopped my backtesting and I'm COD Warzone. Do you know what I'm saying though, Sierra? I don't know. Maybe I'm talking rubbish. I don't know. I just think that would be something that I would love to be involved in. And you could probably get like 20 or 30 people that would be willing to do it and share everything live. I don't think there's any better environment. I really don't. And you know what? If you're not up for it, if you wouldn't be up for it, you wouldn't be in it, would you? Like if you didn't fancy it, like you just wouldn't be in it. Like if you thought to yourself, I don't really like that. I don't want to share my account balance. I'm worried about somebody maybe stealing my edge because I'm making millions and millions of pounds every month from my edge, and it's like the golden goose. And I'm sure that I'm nearly a billionaire now, so I've got 10 Lambos ordered. I'm really worried about somebody pinching my moving average cross into an area. I wouldn't be worried about anybody pinching anybody's edges anyway, guys, because there's that many there's that many people out there trying to make money from these markets that I just think that any edge really is just people. There's already probably hundreds of people trading your edge every day anyway that you can't see. It's probably exactly the same as you. But it's how you deal with the money management side of any edge. I would suggest that's the key to making or winning money. I would suggest that most edges most people can see most edges. Has anybody got an edge out there other than the HTF firms, which are like secret code? I don't know. I would suggest that the money management is key rather than being worried that other people are going to see your edge. Other people wouldn't be able to manage the edge like you manage your edge. That's my opinion anyway. And that could come from I could show people my strategy, right? And I don't think that many people would be able to make any money from it. Why is that? I don't think they'd be able to manage to hold the winners for as long as I do. I just don't think they would. So would I be worried about my edge being pinched? Probably not, because I don't think anybody could trade it properly. But this is what I mean. This is the point that I mean. Steve said you'd be up for it. Virtual prop environment sounds great. I think it does. Hopefully that's the way that it should go. I think IG should do it as well. Why would they not have all of their traders rigged up on here so you can see what they're doing? I know they're never going to do it, but why would they not? If they've got their traders now down in London, I think they should all have a virtual camera on top of their screen so you can see what they're doing. Even if you can't see their actual strategy of what they're doing, just have the traders on with a live account on. Let's see their wins and losses. What would be the problem with that? Mikos would probably say that would never happen, and I don't think it would. But wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice if it did? To see a real live trader in London, their balances. I think you'd be very surprised. Probably at how much money they were making, but also, how they handled the losses. Just seeing somebody do that live would be a massive plus for loads of people. And you wouldn't have to share your strategy with them. Maybe you could just have your balance on screen. Amplify had this before they dissolved their trading arm, right? I think it's a massive thing. I really do. I think it could be huge, in my opinion. I don't know how it could all work or how you could get it into something, but I do think it would be great. And then if you're in another room and this technology existed to do this, and your educator's charging you £100 a month, and you can't see what he's doing, you can just see what he's telling you he's doing. I just think you could say to him, I tell you what, I'm just going back to how I was in that Northman Traders room. At the end of every week or month, he'd have always made money on paper, but I would have never made any money. I wouldn't. And there was loads of other people in his group that were the same as me. So if we could have seen a live Zoom of him entering and exiting the market, how he was giving us the plan to do it, that would have been a massive help to me, massive. And if that was the case and he was willing to do that, I would probably still be in his group now, because I would have seen that he was entering and exiting exactly, how the plan that he'd put out there had come into fruition. So he'd give the plan out, and there'd be days where he would be long, short, and there'd be no trigger, or he would enter, and because he used to say, oh, it takes me a bit of a while to get the tweet out or something like that. And the position would be 30, because he'd trade the Dow, the position would be 40 ticks on his side by the time he was in miraculously. But if it's live on Zoom and you're watching him and you think to yourself, right, okay, he's clicking the mouse. Now he's live, he's setting the position up, goes with the plan. His position's on the screen, he's in. Right, okay, brilliant. It all makes sense. Yeah, exactly. I'm not talking about everybody sitting in there watching no change, right? And I understand that some people do it. That's not my point. My point is I want everybody in the room to do it. So it's not about everybody sitting there and copying off one trader, right? I want everybody in the room to be okay with sharing their account balance. That's the point of it. So you're not just sitting there copying one person. You're actually in a room sharing your account balance live. And it would be about the room rather than about the person. So you would have to be okay with that. It wouldn't just be a case of everybody watching one person's account balance and what he's doing. It would be everybody doing it and sharing their own wins and losses throughout the day. Morning, Ian. What's the most you have paid to join a group or so-called education, Mark, over the years? No, I think Northern Traders cost me about 80 quid a month for a decent while, to be fair. And then I've done other little bits and pieces. Not loads, though, to be honest with you. Yes, I am, Mikos. Yes. Mikos has nailed it. I am inspired. Yes, I am. That got me thinking last night. That did. Mikos put on the board. Mikos is the guy that said he was in Chicago, and I was. You know what I said before about them all trading breakouts together and how they'd all be on a massive high and stuff. That got me thinking about it. Right. That's where it's come from. So yeah, it was you. You did inspire me, and it was good. I enjoyed listening to that. Well, didn't listen to it. I read it, but. I just imagined you sat there with all of your teammates, celebrating on the champagne in Chicago, going out for a night out that night and smashing it together. And I just thought that what an amazing thing to do. And if we could get a like-minded little community going, which would want to do something similar and be completely honest about how they traded and with their account balances, I think it would be a winner. Because you'd be sharing your wins together, wouldn't you? You'd be sharing your losses together. I do fancy some of that, because yeah. It's the honesty that I like about it more than anything. The honesty. So there's no hiding, is there? There's no hiding on Twitter. On Twitter, people can hide, can't they? Everybody looks a ledge on Twitter. Everybody does. This is the thing, right? I tweeted that the other day, didn't I? I've done my arse this week and I've come on Twitter and I still see that everybody's still making thousands on here. You can hide on Twitter. People will make out that they can walk the walk. They're this big trader. They're doing this, that and the other. They're not. I'm telling you now, they are not. Most people aren't. And everybody hides on Twitter. Everybody's so afraid of calling a live trade on Twitter because they don't want to look like they lose. Right, so I get your point, Mikos. I do. I don't want it to be like that, though, where everybody's sharing the same breakout. I just use that as an example. I'm thinking that it's just more about people sharing the wins and losses and their account balances and being honest with it. I think that would generally help people. Now, I'm not saying that if we've got 5 or 6 people who are smashing it in the room, that the 14 or 15 wouldn't be looking at them 5 or 6 thinking, right, what are they doing? Like, what the hell are they doing that I'm not doing? Like, how much of a help would that be, though? You know, like, it goes back to education, doesn't it? Like, if you're willing to pay for education, but your educator isn't showing you exactly what he's doing at any point on any given day, and he's just saying to you, like, you know, he's giving you a template or a spreadsheet and saying, like, oh, this is my results, this is what I did. You're not learning nothing. You might be learning all of his technical garbage that he puts out and says, oh, this is what I think and this is what I do. It's like ICT, right? That guy, ICT. Has anybody seen him trade a live account? And I mean proper live account, not the guru one, live, where he's got people in his room and he's executing on live money. They haven't. He's on demo. There's always something in there. There's always like there's always something that somebody's hiding behind, and it's normally MT4, and it's normally demo, and it's normally not live. Or anybody, if you go onto anybody's educational site, right, they will say to you, right, this is what you're paying for. It's $2,000 or $3,000 for this course or whatever. Here it all is. There you go. Nice one. So you go away, you read it all. It doesn't mean anything, does it? Like, it's just all technical, and half of it you can probably get off YouTube anyway. But if that guy is in a room with you and he's trading live in front of you, and he's got his balance, his live account balance on screen, and yours is too, right? That to me, that is the golden sort of. I would be well up for that. I don't think anybody does it. I don't know. You'd have to tell me, like. But for me, that's the thing. Now, these 6 people or 7 people in the room who are doing really well, like they don't have to share their exact strategy with you. Obviously, you know, that would be up to them if they felt like they wanted to do that. But you could see where they'd entered the market and how they would enter in it. You could see, you know, them getting on a trade because they'd have the screen set up like this. Like, you could see what they were thinking at the time. When they lost, they would come on and say to you, like, right, I was thinking this, it didn't happen, I got stopped out. Just being around the people that are doing that, walking the walk, I think it's going to pull other people up. But you'd have to be comfortable with it. You really would, and I think you would have to have some sort of experience, right? It wouldn't be for newbie traders. It wouldn't, because it wouldn't be a room where you could, you know, like if you're just starting off on your journey, it wouldn't be for you. You would have to have some experience. Like, you'd have to have something to offer the room to start with. Now, I don't know how you would police that either. I don't know, because you wouldn't just want it to be loads of newbies in there that were starting off, because then it would just be like you'd be too green. You'd be too at the start of your journey. You wouldn't have even gone through the processes that you would need to be part of the room and to even offer anything. Like, you'd have to be able to offer something in a way. Now, I don't know how people could police that. But that would be the key. That would be the key. Get in the room with the right people in it and policing it so that the right people were in the room. And then I think you could have a really, really good crack at something. Had an ICT pupil actually had to come and trade demo for me. 1 straight line limit down in 8 days. Jesus Christ. 0 risk management skills, and his trades were bizarre. Exactly, Sierra, right? So that is the problem, isn't it? But I don't are people who are highly profitable going to even be interested in the first place? Because they're cracking it, aren't they? They're on it. Like, if I asked Mikos to come into this room, he'd be like, no fucking chance. There's no way. Like, he's not interested, is he? But there's people out there who aren't making... Like, I'm not going to lie, Sierra, yeah? Okay, so this is me. I aren't making hundreds of thousands of pounds trading. I aren't. I'm not. I haven't got that account size. But having a room, sharing a room with like-minded people who I can see who might be making money, might not be making hundreds of thousands of pounds or anything like that, or driving Lamborghinis, but you're all in it together then, aren't you? Like, it would just, I don't see how it wouldn't benefit me in any way, shape or form. Like, I might pick other tips up off other people in that room who are good. So Your point is, right, if I'm in a room and I can trade and I'm with 6 or 7 other people that can trade who are showing me their account balances, like I can pick stuff up off them. Just because you're profitable doesn't mean that you can't learn anything off anybody else, right? So your point's valid, Sierra, but think about this. Everybody that was in that prop room with Nav was obviously the top baller in there. Were they profitable? Yes, you would have to think so because they're in a prop office. Did they benefit from being around him and seeing anything or having any interaction with him? They probably did. They probably did. You know, maybe he would have given him that, you know, like if they can see him holding a trade and doing well, maybe that's what they can start. You know, like we can all learn from each other. Just because you're profitable doesn't mean that you're like, that's it, you're done. And you might really enjoy being around other people and having a team. Like you might, just because you're profitable doesn't mean that you're gonna have to. You want to sit on your own all your life in your own little shed or your office and like make money on your own. I just think sharing the wins and losses is such a benefit to people. I don't know. Maybe we should just forget. I just had this thought when Mikos said that last night. It just went into my head that it would be amazing if we could do it. There's so many negatives, but there would be so many positives, and it would be something that you would have to all sort of work at. It wouldn't be something where you just think, oh, it's all going to work. You might not get on with the people that are in there. You know, your personalities might not be the same. You might think it drives you mad after a month or two. Who knows? This was all something that we wouldn't really know. But I would imagine being around, if you're profitable, being around other profitable traders would be a massive, massive plus. That's like saying to me, like, I can make money trading. Would it benefit me going down into Mikos's prop room and being around the guys that were in there? It definitely would. Would I be able to add anything to them guys or even show them anything that they might not know? I might do. I might not do, but I might do. You know, like if they spent 2 or 3 months around me, they might pick up something that I'm doing on the DAX that they probably thought wouldn't work. Now, I just think that it can only add positivity being around other people who can walk the walk and can be honest about their account balances. It can only be positive. So yeah, Mikos prefers trading from a room than at home. Exactly. You would do. I'm sure you would. It's just having that extra sort of good pressure, isn't it? It's good pressure. It's like being in a good football team. You know, like you've got to up your game. You've got to play well. You know, like people will call you out and say, "Look, you cunt, you're not running back. What you doing? What you doing? You need to get back and defend. You're not putting it in. You know, we're under pressure here. Get yourself sorted out. What you're doing. Get your head on the game." And it's like the pressure that brings from other people calling you out and can see what you're not trading right. And even if you're a profitable trader, Sierra, you're not profitable all the time. You might find that being around people when you're having you lose. I mean, I feel way better. I know it might sound completely crazy, but I feel better for being on here, having done my arse this week. I do. Why? Because people. I can't hide from it. It's there. It's on the screen. You guys can see it. I ain't hiding from it. It's there. There's no running from my losses. There's no, I've made them losses. They're there. Everybody can see them. And it helps you out mentally because you've got to just get on with it. There's no being a baby. There's no being a, crybaby about it. You just got to face it up. And I think that that's the whole benefit. Like Miko said that when he's in his room, as I said before, people's balances are on the screen. You can see who's making money, who's going down, who's in a losing position. The software to do that would be amazing. Another very smart trader once said to me about how every good trader would still benefit from having a coach when I was moaning about paying my manager 18% of my P&L. Angela was in the room yesterday, Mikos. Angela Abler, she was saying to me that she feels like she needs a mentor all the time. I'm okay with mentoring and education as long as my mentor or my educator is sharing their account balances with me and we're all being very open about it. Let's just get that straight. Okay, where I feel that I am, and obviously if you see a psychologist, it might be completely different, right? Psychologists, trading psychologists, they don't trade, and you sign up to that. You know that a lot of them don't trade. They're just sort of there to help you mentally, aren't they? So not that, but if you've got a trader mentor who's a trader, and you're paying him to train your mind how to think, and I would love it if I could share the screen with him and see what he was doing. And he wouldn't just be making money constantly, would he? I don't expect that of anybody. That's not how trading works. Everybody loses money. But just by seeing his wins and losses as well and how he deals with it, that would be such a massive plus. I agree, having a mentor or a coach is great in trading, but distinguish what that mentor is. Are they a psychologist and just there purely psychology? If that's the case, you're not really bothered about whether they can trade or not. But if they're a trading coach, mentor trader coach, I'd personally want to see what they're doing. Are they making money? Are they doing it live? I just think it would be a massive help. And that winning mentality breeds that winning mentality by being open about it. Changes in a room like that for stocks, we help each other with reviews. Change, do they have the balances on though? Do they have their account balances on live so everybody can see what they're winning and losing on any given day or any given minute? At prop firms I've worked out, the manager of the desk gets a cut if the P&L of the P&L. It's just the way it works. They do work for that money. I agree they do. I'm sure most people in here will have days where they sort of spiral. Even the most disciplined trader is going to have a day where something's just not quite right and they can spiral. I would have appreciated it the other day, right? Let me just get into this. So I'll just go back to my own trading. When I did my arse, fucking blank day that was. Sorry for swearing. When I did my arse in here, right, I took that third trade on. If a risk manager would have come across to me and said just before I put that third trade on, your third trade doesn't really ever make you any money, so what the fuck are you doing? I would have probably agreed with him. Sat here, I still made the third trade, right? So my account would be 2% up still. Now that 2% could be a hell of a lot of money, right? It could be huge. It could be 10 grand, it could be 15 grand, it could be 25, I don't know. It could be however big your account is, it could be that big. But if the risk manager was in here, I would have said, probably best if I walk away, isn't it? Because he would have come across to me and he said, you're entering another trade. Your third trade doesn't make money. I know my third trade doesn't make money. I still made that third trade on Wednesday. I still did that. Why? Because the day looked good enough to me. Does it make statistically any sense for me to be entering that third trade? No, it doesn't. I still made it because at that point I was trying to be right. As I said to you, the execution was right on the first two. On the third one, if I could go back in time, I wouldn't have taken it. The reason is, the stats tell me my third trade is normally shit. So, risk manager was in here on Tuesday. I would have got a tap on the arm and he would have said, get the fuck out of that trade. What are you doing? You're going to do your arse. It doesn't matter. Just get out of it now. You would have got out of the trade. I would have appreciated that. Somebody, if we had a live room sharing our things, I would have told people that my third trade's normally shit. You would be saying what are you doing? Get out of it. It doesn't matter what the market's going to do now. You could be right, you could be wrong, but you've gone over. You've gone over your risk level. That's not what you should be doing. If we were in a room together, you might not have done it the first time, you might not have been on it, but I can guarantee if I do it again in the future, you'd be on at me. Third trade, what are you doing? That's not your system. That's not what you should be doing. Get out of it. I don't know. Flush time for a cuppa. What you flushed on, Trend the Market? Tell me, dude. What you flushed on? What you in? What you doing? Let's have a look at what you're doing. Are you trading the DAX? What you trading? Let me know what you're trading, what time frame you're on, and what you're doing, and I'll try and have a look. Because if you flush, that's not good, pal. I only get flushed when I'm stressed. I know, Steve, but I've backtested. It will happen, obviously, but my backtesting results say that on the third trade I need to just not be a dick. Keep away from the mouse. And you know what? I was all right because there was a fourth one, and I kept away from that one. So that was a bit of discipline that I could take a positive from, right? There was a fourth trade that day. Absolute strategy breaker. Trend the Market, look up. Are you trading the DAX then? If so, what are you doing? You're on the euro long, are you? Euro dollar from previous M15 close. You're in at this point, are you? Over the 50s. Nice trade, Josh. You've got your stop underneath here then, Josh, have you, a bet? Hope it works out for you, mate. Looks like it could go, that does. Wollongaba, 10% drawdown is okay on a multi-month time frame. In a week you were doing something wrong. You need reels of volatile V-bottom should not be faded for at least 2 days. Probably right there, Wollongaba. I suppose it depends what drawdown you make is what you're risking though as well, doesn't it, really? To a point. 10% drawdown in a week on 1% risk per trade, I would say, is too much. But on 2% or 3%, it's easily it, really, on my strategy. This is real. OCGN will make you rich, gentlemen. Thanks, Orvis. Thanks for the tip. OCGN. Ian, are you still in the room? You're the stock guru. Is this a winner for us? What's this piece of shit DAX doing this morning? What are you backtesting? What are you backtesting then, Change? 100% up by the third month. Send me that strategy over, Change. If you could be so kind, that sounds like a good one. Mikos is the Doctor Who School of Trading. Yeah, I agree. He's got all the answers, Mikos has. Hey, he smashed that oil short yesterday that he called, by the way. Did he call a live oil short in here yesterday, I think? I think he smashed it. That was a good one. James, what's this 100% up strategy? Let me know. You can't keep that one from the group. Let me finish the test. It was good for those 3 months. 100% up, dude. Wow. Let me know. I will buy that off you. I'll send you some Aussie dollars over. That's a good one. Anything that's doing that in 3 months is is unbelievable. Oh, there's my stomach rumbling. Kurt's got stopped New Zealand US dollar yesterday, entered again and lost. I'm taking this week off and come back on Monday. Was that, Kurt, was that the one that you shouted out yesterday, by the way? Yeah, I think it was, wasn't it? H1, let's have a look, see what's happened. Yeah, I think you were short in here, weren't you? I remember now. You were short in here, thinking this is going to go. And I can see you probably got stopped out there. And then you've had another go of it here and got stopped out again. Opening range breakout with some tweaks. Change, I like this. Talk to me. You can't just leave it there. I tell you what, anything with opening range breakout that's making 100% in 3 months sounds like unbelievable. Cracking strategy. I'd keep that one up your sleeve if I were you. I don't know what you've done or what you're seeing, but that sounds amazing. Send me the spreadsheet over, Change. I'll take a look at it for you, mate. If you want any help, I'll have a quick glance at it just to make sure you're on the right tracks. I won't copy it, honest. Kurt, I would say, Kurt, that I don't know if that's your entry and that's your entry, or do you normally take 2 attempts at it, or is it something that you would have you moved from your strategy? If you haven't moved from your strategy, Kurt, and you're taking two punts at it, then it's one of them, pal. Don't beat yourself up about it. If that's what you're back tested for, and that's your strategy, I wouldn't get too down about it. Really, losing trades happen, pal. If you've taken a second one, when you shouldn't have, though, then obviously you need to give yourself a kick up the arse and not do that. Make sure it doesn't happen next time if that's the case. Mark Wogan sent me some info on NDX gap close first test. I haven't seen that, Mark. Have you just sent me that over? I haven't seen that. If you have, I'll have a look at it, definitely. Thanks for that. Appreciate it. See, this is the positivity of having a good community, isn't it? Like, it's there. Like, that's it. Change is giving us a strategy that's making 100% for free. All of us, we can all take it off him. Mark sending gap close data over. Wulong Gob was in the room giving us technical pointers where if you're going through a 10% drawdown, you've done your arse. So that's me this week. But like people get so sort of protective, don't they, about their stuff and that, about their strategies and that. I just don't think you should be like that. I think I've always thought that the group mind is way stronger than the individual mind. Now, obviously, you don't want to give people your strategy who are sort of fly by night type people who will. But if you're all comfortable with each other and you all know each other, I just think it's a great thing. I really do, because you can all offer each other something. Like, I'm sure that if I went for a beer with Sierra, he would offer me something, and I'm sure I would offer him something from a trading sort of knowledge standpoint. And there's going to be little nuances that I can offer him, and he will offer me. Same with Mark Wogan, right? If me and Mark Wogan went for a beer, I know for a fact that it could only be positive, the outcome of it, for him and for me. I know it could be. With any of you in here, I'm sure that if we all went for a beer one at a time with each other, there would be positives that we could take. There'd be very few negatives, very few. I've never gone for a meeting with another trader where I've had a beer with him or I've spoke to him and got to know him where it hasn't benefited me or him. It just doesn't, because sharing knowledge and contextual data about how you see things only adds something to you add something to each other. Now, do you take, like Tom Dante's told me his exact strategy or whatever, that he makes money with. Have I ever made money trading Tom's strategy? No. But the context of it all has definitely added something to my trading. But do I make money or do I copy Tom's strategy? I don't know. there's thousands out. I imagine that Tom's probably educated loads of people out there. Has it affected his edge in any way? I would suggest it hasn't. It's probably not affected his edge in any way. So my point is, don't be too bothered about sharing your own sort of trading edge or your strategies or something like that. I just don't think it makes that much difference. These people that try and guard it like as if it's like KFC's spice mix, and it's under lock and key, and they would never tell anybody anything about their trading and stuff. I just think that that's a bit too much. And if you're making billions of pounds from it, I understand that. But are we all here making billions of pounds, millions of pounds, or whatever? I would imagine that if you went and spoke to Nav and said to him, like, Nav, what's your strategy, what are you doing? He would probably tell you and say, this is what I'm doing. Wouldn't mean that you could trade it or do anything about it yourself. But from sitting next door to him on a screen and sharing time with him and conversing with him, you know, if he wanted to talk to you, I don't know. But you would only be positive. You would only get a positive out of that. So I'm massive on sharing and sort of communicating with other traders and being honest. That's the key. You've got to be honest. If you're not prepared to be honest, it wouldn't ever work, would it? What's Mikos on about? Someone's got herpes. He'd share them with you. Did he have herpes? Where's he picked them up from? The brass house? I would imagine. Twitter DM. Thanks, Mark. I'll have a look at that. Awesome. No one will ever copy what you do anyway. Probably not. You'd offer him some gear. Yeah, they do. You know what, though, Mark? I agree with that. I don't think anybody would copy somebody absolutely to the point. You do need your independent mind and approach. Everybody does. I think if you're trying to cookie cut someone else's strategy, it never works. But it adds tremendous value to see somebody executing their strategy live in front of you and making money from it, right? So that's the tagline, isn't it? You're not going to copy them. You're not sitting there copying them word for word. But to see them execute their strategy and make money from it on a weekly or a monthly basis, it's going to add value to you. It definitely is. It's going to only be positive if you're trying to achieve the same thing. It can only be positive. It's going to pull you up on the days when you're not executing right. You're going to see them other people making money. It's the same in a football team. If you see somebody scoring a goal or you see a new player come in, they start doing really well, you want that for yourself. You up your standards yourself. It's how it goes. It's human. That's what humans do. If you've got a lousy team and a lousy group and no one's putting it in, you guarantee that you're not going to be up for it yourself. If you're in a good team surrounded by other good players who are all on it and at it, you can guarantee that you're way more likely to be at it yourself. Steve, so been trying to trade Tom's strategy for about 6 months now and I'm down 22%. Small account though, so it's fine. His strategy is definitely profitable, but executing in the way he does is very difficult. That's the thing, right, with Tom's strategy. Tom's strategy is profitable. It definitely is, but the ones that you see, you have to learn yourself to take there's only 2 a week that will probably interest Tom, maybe even less, sometimes just 1, but you will start to see them levels everywhere, and you have to sort of grow through the losses to work out that a lot of the time he's going off the dailies, whereas what a lot of people do is they'll put the 1 hour time frame up and trade all these levels without looking at the bigger context and the bias to it. I was similar to you, Steve, by the way. I was similar to you. That's something that I was doing, and I think that's the thing when you give any trader a new strategy, right? They will see it all the time, everywhere, and they'll try and enter into every single one that they see. Now, the actual you start to really grasp a strategy when you learn the ones that you shouldn't take. It takes time, though. It really does. It's not something that comes easily. That just takes experience and maturity and time on the strategy. But Steve, stick with it. Stick with it. Seriously, I would stick with it. for me. And I don't know, 6 months you say, I don't think that's long enough. I think it can take a couple of years really of looking at strategy and trying to work out, getting to the point of working out like when you shouldn't be in the market and when you should. Morning, Charlie. Yes, Mark, thank you for being the player. Thank you, Thomas. Change his email to test sheet. Oh my god. Dun dun dun. I'm going to have a Lambo next week, Change. We're getting to the candy shop, me and you are. Sierra's going to be messaging me. I'm going to have a DM when I get on Twitter. Sierra saying, any chance you could send that spreadsheet over? I've said it before, Kurt. Tom's the master at knowing when not to trade a strategy. That guy can sit there all fucking week and not touch the mouse. Seriously. And I'm not just saying that. He can do it, right? He will sit there all week. He's like a fucking hibernating mole that hibernates for the winter. And he only just sort of rises when the fucking trade sets up that he likes the look of. And he'll come in and he'll execute it and he'll smash it. He's got very big discipline like that. He will stay out of the market. Even if it takes 2 or 3 weeks, he won't fucking touch the mouse. He's like a hibernating hedgehog. Like, where everybody else is just steaming into everything like, oh, you got to get in this, got to get in that. He will just execute properly with the ones that he takes, and that's it. Jackpot! I know. Sort us out. You're after it. Sierra, send me 50 over and I'll send it. You're over 50 quid or it's not coming, pal. I want £50 and a £50 note sent to my address by 9 PM today, or you ain't getting it. Tom the Sloth Trader Danner, yeah, he is a bit. He reminds me of a hedgehog, like a fat beaver or something that's just under a log and then he comes out when he needs to. This is potentially a trade here for me on the DAX. Can you believe this? On NFP day, it's setting me up. I'm gonna have to get back on the 5-minute time frame quickly. Stop looking at New Zealand US dollar. £50, 50 grand, you're done. Thanks, James, for sending that over. Appreciate that. £50 a spreadsheet. It's been 5 months, Kurt, since you started using Tom's strategy. And right. I would suggest, Kurt, are you trading it live? With live money? Are you trading it with live money, Kurt? Let me know. If you're trading it with live money and you're doing your arse, I would suggest that you go back onto demo with it. Because there's no point losing money until you can work out the ones not to take. Do you understand that? I'm not trying to be a dick or anything, but I just don't want to see you losing money, pal. That's all. Losing money sucks if you still can't just get, yeah, I'm in here. I need to up that to 60. I'm just going to hit it. Slightly in too small there, but we'll see. So, Kurt, is that your first month trading? Is that like, are you new to all this and you've just taken Tom's strategy and you are just trying to make money with it? Or are you experienced trader and you've just gone onto Tom's strategy just to give yourself a proper strategy that you could have? It depends where you are in your journey. But one thing I will say is there's no point wasting money until you can execute it perfectly. If you can't execute it perfectly, you might as well go back onto demo. At the end of the day, mate, it's your money. Kurt, it's your money, pal. It's your capital, right? So just because you've brought a strategy or you've got something does not mean that you have to trade it live with your live money. Step back, go back onto demo, prove that you can do it over a 6-month period, let's say. And when you can, jump back on. It's getting the market's going to be here forever, pal. Right, okay. Now, people might be thinking, oh, it's NFP, what's he doing? He's getting into a trade. You're probably right. But who knows, right? This thing could just move down all day until NFP. Let me take this limit off. Fuck's sake, what's that doing then? This thing could move down all day until NFP. And then NFP could shit the bed and we could be at 10R by the end of the day. Who knows? Just got to take that chance. But if this loses, guys, you'll probably see me back here -3. I hope you don't, but it's possible. On NFP day, exactly. Got to be in it to win it. Yeah, Wulonga, I agree with that. Trade demo, or just trade very small. Trade a micro account. Don't be ashamed to trade a micro account. It's like having a micro penis, isn't it? And going to the toilet in them communal urinals. Don't be ashamed, guys. It's no problem. Most guys aren't packing what you think anyway, so don't be ashamed about it. Micro account or micro penis, it's all good. Trend the market's back in. So DAX, you were short at 15,219 at 9.25, but the long FU candle at 9.46 faked me out. This one. Let's have a look where you were short. Mikos is asking if everybody can see on the chat, right? I have a quick question for the group, he says. Where did you learn to trade? I think we're a bit delayed, by the way, because I think people are laughing about the old micro penis joke. But just get back to Mikos' point. He's asking, where did you learn to trade? Oh, you guys are jokers. Dave says he's learned how to trade off this stream, Mikos. That Danny guy on YouTube, oh god, he's the worst, isn't he? What a freaking idiot that guy is. He drives me mad. Every goddamn YouTube video that I click on, he's on there, his face is. Trader SZ, Danny Vermaelen. Astro FX. So there's a lot of Tom's guys in here. Rulan Gobber, you're in for 2 decades. Are you, pal? Interesting. Love it. Chris, Laurie, Dante, few others, and the School of Aversion Therapy. I learned off Tom Hoggard, by the way. He was my mentor. That Danish dude that popped in last week. Him and Jesper taught me. Hope Jesper's in here this morning. I had to look into that Tom Hoggard thing, by the way, last week, because I thought, is this guy shilling or what? Because I couldn't work out what he was doing. And you know what? His things that were free were like at the front of his app, but then when you delve into the back of it, there was some sort of education that's coming out soon that is going to be paid for. So it was a shill, by the way. I'll just let everybody know. It was a little bit of a shill, that was last week. Dante, Crypto, Cred and Abe. Who's cutting the grass? The gardener. He's got his strimmer out. He's done me. I'm going to have to go out there in a minute in time to fucking turn it down. I think my microphone's picking it up. Fuck's sake. Can you guys hear that? I can't believe that. Fucking microphone. It's too receptive. We need to turn it down. I'm gonna call it a day in a minute, guys. The fucking gardener's having me off. Yeah, they were a shill. The Hoggard crew were. Mikos, right? Where did you learn to trade? I don't know if you're still in here. You're asking everybody. You're asking where everybody learned to trade, right? But can you tell us where you learned to trade? Because at the end of the day, mate, you're the professional. You're the prop trader. So let us know where you trade. How did you come about the markets? What made you get into it? Can you let me know? Because I will probably try and do the same. But yeah, I am Jaderick. Yeah. Yeah, you know what, right? I might do that. Am I gonna do that thing? Have you seen that guru? What's his name now? Who's he's always on YouTube selling stuff, and he's got a YouTube where he says, "Hi guys, today I'm gonna go outside and I'm gonna see if I can learn my gardener to trade in one day. And if he's good, I might be out here mowing my own lawn next week." Do you remember when? That's the guy. It's the same gardener. Come on, Dax, pay me a bitch. Drop you bitch. Come on, she's going. Come on. Feel good about today. Feel good. It's one of them days, NFP, where everybody thinks, fuck, I don't find this don't want to get in. It makes no sense to get short. Let's see what happens. I hope that I get a winner today. Could do with one. Started as a dealer's assistant. What type of dealer? Mikos says he started as a coke dealer's assistant and then took over the US dollar book, which became Euro US dollar. So he started as a street coke dealer and then moved into Euro US dollar. He'll be a Twitter trader next. That's the progression. You start off as a coke. Greg Secker, that's the dude. Yes, Greg. His nickname's Greg Sucker because apparently he got caught getting sucked off in a Lambo driving through London. Yeah, you see, that's the good progression. So you haven't started on demo then, Mikos, and then you've not become a Twitter guru, and then you've not started selling signals like everybody else on Twitter. Mikos has actually been on the dealing desks. Fuck's sake. That's what we need. That's what we all need to do. He was selling jumpers from the age of 12. Similar to me, that's what I was doing. I was selling socks and underpants and knickers though, on my mum's stall. I liked this. Gardener makes $5. You know what, Dave? Most of these gardeners are on a right good crack, honestly. I actually... Do you know what? I've got no qualms in saying in line, saying that I wouldn't do something like that. If this all goes tits up my trading at any point, I'll just go and do something like that. I will. Might go back into cars or something like that, but it's just becoming so tough, that is. But I think that these guys that are doing that type of work at the moment, they're absolutely smashing it. I know a builder, like one of my builders, a very good friend of mine's a builder, right? He's making shitloads of money. Shitloads. Really good money. And he's got like a team of lads that are working for him, so he doesn't really have to do a lot himself. He's sat in his van all day. I know it would be difficult to get to that point straight away, but I just think that this, like these jobs, gardening, building, stuff like that, like they're doing all right. These guys are. No stress. It is manual work, obviously, but Which bank, Mikos? Nick Gordon's asking. UBS, question mark. You can't get kids to do apprenticeships anymore either. They don't want them to work. No, they don't, because they're all bloody looking at YouTube and looking at all of AstroFX's trading websites and stuff, aren't they? That's the problem with it. They're all chasing the unrealistic dream. I worked as a gardener in a graveyard for a few months. Nice. Bet that was peaceful, Steve. Didn't have many people to talk to about similar to me, to be fair, in this room. I do think you need human interaction. I really do. Like when I look at like my mates, and like some of them are builders, some of them are construction workers, stuff like that. They're all in a team. Like they're all having a laugh with each other and bantering each other all day. That's the toughest thing about being a trader, I think. Fuck's sake, this thing squeezed me back up. Carolus is currently we got a tree surgeon in here for a couple of days. Right, Carolus, awesome. Getting a good day rate there. Yeah, exactly. I'd fancy a little job like that. I would. It'd be cool. Nice work, Steve. You can't beat being outside. I don't know if that's just a thing of this thing that we're doing here, where you always tend to be inside in front of a screen, but I feel really jealous of people who are outside all day. They might say the complete opposite in the winter when it's pissing down and it's freezing. They probably do. You always sort of want what you haven't got, don't you? But I do think that being around other lads and other guys and part of a team is a good thing. For me personally, I do enjoy that. I've always been sort of a team player. Thanks, Mark. Yeah, it is. I agree with you. It is good for that. Miss the crack of others. I do too, to be fair. 120 a day, Carolus. Nice. Nice, pal. Good honest work. Good honest day rate. Where we live at the moment though, Carolus, I don't know if you're in the UK or whatever, but most of the guys who are on trades around where we are at the moment, they're all on 180 a day now. Some of them, the decent brickies and that are on 250, 300 a day. And we're not in London. I'm in Stoke-on-Trent, Congleton area. I think that's really good work. I do like that. They're in at 8 and they're done at 3:30. Some of them are pulling 250 a day. It's good, that is. Dave, see you later, mate. Thanks for stopping in this week. It's been good. Wish you all the best. Have a good weekend. Take care. See you Monday. Even the working from home screwed tea is over, where you couldn't tell your buddy to sod off. One of my co-workers at the graveyard apparently won the lottery and then lost it all due to his alcoholism. Some interesting characters over there. I always have a chat with the gardeners here at my daycare centre. Mark, how's the weather? Where are you? Talk to me about Spain. Make me jealous. What are you doing? What's the temperature over there? Are you near your pool? Have you got a pool, Mark? Have you got like a little swimming pool or a big swimming pool? Have you got a swimming pool at your gaff? I'm interested. Must be under charging. Maybe, Carolus. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how far you're into your job or anything like that, but the guys that sort of do work for us around here, a lot of my football team tend to be like construction or building or that type of trade, and they're all getting decent money at the moment. Like I know obviously that's not decent to some people who are making thousands or whatever, but I think 250 a day when you've got no risk, just for work, 8 till 3:30. Sat in the van at 12:30 till 1:30 having your dinner, messing around. I don't think it's bad. So have a look. Yeah, get yourself bumped up, pal. You must be undercharging. Gotta go. See you later, Josh. Take care, mate. I'm going to call it a day too soon myself. Morning, Philios. Mark Wogan, a few, mate. So you got a few pools. That is baller. Take your pick. This thing looks like it's going to go, doesn't it? If this closes here, I think I'm going to take this off and get back in if we go lower again. How long have we got? It looks like we've bottomed on it. The thing that's worried me is this low's held here. Let me just have a quick think about this. I'm taking it off. I'll get back in if we go lower. Take it off. Done. Taking that trade off, guys. Why did I do that? Because obviously I'm thinking to myself, if we're going to go, we've got to push through that low. And this pin bar here, when we went back up, that looked like that could be the trap for people who'd brought it, and that would have pushed them down. That pin bar there, we didn't go, and straight away they pushed us back up to where my entry was, and I ain't prepared to sit there on an FP day and get squeezed like this, so I'm out with that one. I hope people can see that execution. Now, if we push back down again, would I have another go at it? Potentially, but I just thought we looked like we'd bottom then, so what's the point in sitting in it? Yeah, have a good morning, guys. I'm going to call it a day. Lovely to spend this week with you, even though I can't be in profits with some of you. But yeah, it's been good, and I appreciate everybody coming on here. It's been fantastic. See you all Monday, and have a fantastic weekend. And be careful out there today with NFP. See you later. Take care.